for us. Frasier is back after nearly 2 decades.
I can't believe I'm going to get to talk to Kelsey Grammer.
I know.
He's bringing back to his role as a pretentious psychotherapist, Frasier Crane, in the reboot of the classic series.
Here with a cold brew in my hand, I feel amalgamated with the hoi polloi.
You are the classic everyman.
Nobody says hoi polloi better. The new season is streaming now on Paramount+.
And joining us now to talk about it all, the star of the show, Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey, thanks so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure, guys. Good to see you.
You too. All right, let's talk about what it's like coming back as Frasier for the first time since 2004. And how has your character grown since then?
Well, he's got a lot of the same pitfalls, and he basically has the same layer of caring that he always had. He is sincere and earnest in his desire to help others and to be a success and to find love, and all those things still apply to him. He has put to bed a few of the things. He knows that he's good at what he does. He's wealthy now. He's fulfilled a lot of his dreams. There's just a few that haven't quite worked out the way he'd hoped, and so he turns to his family. He returns to his sense that he has something unfinished, some unfinished business in Boston, and also with his son who lives in Boston. And so it's a return to a relationship that is going to need work, that's going to need time to sort of turn into what he hopes it would be. And he's going to turn to his son, and they're going to discover Boston and life together a little bit with some old friends and some new friends.
Well, it's a very smart homage to the classic series, and proof of that, in a recent episode, we see you reuniting with Newth, who of course plays your ex-wife. What was that like?
Oh, it was great. I mean, Bibi never misses a beat. She's fantastic, and the character of Lilith is an extraordinary one. I mean, they just get under each other's skin, and I guess they're kind of forever in their own strange way. And they do have this son, of course, that they share. And it was wonderful to work with her again. I directed that episode as well, so it was just like sort of throwing on an old pair of clothes for both of us, honestly. We hit the ground running, and it didn't take any time at all to get that show done and put it up. And we were right back at, where that relationship had been previously. And of course, there was always that sort of smoldering tension between them, and she's a lovely gal, and the character's sort of smoldering anyway. Lilith has been very repressed and sort of attractive at the same time, so it's fun to see them kind of throw it around a bit together.
And you mentioned that the reboot is very much about him returning to Boston, trying to mend his relationship with his son Freddie. Describe the inspiration behind this plot.
Well, the very first pilot of the original show, Frasier, was called The Good Father, The Good Son. This one's called The Good Father. It's about, in both cases, it's about Frasier and his new role, basically, which was to try to be a good son and do the right thing for his dad. And now it's to be a good father and do the right thing for his son.
See, there was always depth in the original, and I like how you weave in with all of the laughs, the depth. But now that you're back in Boston, are you going to revisit the Cheers bar?
No, there has been some lively speculation about that, but no, I don't believe we're going back. I mean, look, we'll always acknowledge the fact that he used to go there. I think that's going to be, part and parcel of what happens with the rest of the show. Will we get a visit from one of the previous characters? Maybe that was on the show Cheers. We've it's some time ago, Cheers, but certainly it'll be part of his past, and that may bleed into an episode or two. But whether or not we actually see it or see the people, I kind of doubt it.
Well, this reboot has been in the works for quite a while. Why do you think now was the right time to bring it out?
Well, you know what? Yeah, it was about 6 years ago that we started talking about it. It was sort of on the heels of the success of Roseanne, and then Will and Grace came back, and I think they even did a Murphy Brown for a while, and Mad About You. And I just thought, well, you know what? Let's re-enter at least the thinking phase about this, and make sure he's not stuck in the same world. I mean, it was always determined that he would have to move on to some other part of his life, a third act or even a fourth act, arguably, because Chicago was its own act in and of itself, which we explore a little bit in the show. But Frasier has moved on to something akin to the fact that he still has mellowed a bit. He's found success. He's wealthy enough to go do what he wants to do. He wants to go actually to Europe and start writing a book about old French playwrights. But then it turns out his son and the distance between them is more engaging, and he needs to figure that out.
Wow.
I like that it's a show with a mission. I mean, I love to see you in blue fur, but I do like you as Dr. Frasier Crane more.
Thank you. Yeah, I intend to get back in some blue fur pretty soon.
Good, good, good. Kelsey Grammer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, John. Good to see you.
And remember, you can watch Frasier streaming on Paramount Plus. New episodes come out every Thursday. So fun to see him.
Plus, we were just talking about another show I loved. He was a bad boss. He played a boss in Chicago. He was an X-Men. I mean, he's done some big stuff.
And that's what's kind of fun to see his range.
Yeah.
You know, because those were such serious, kind of scary roles.
He won an
that goes
Emmy
back to
as a
this.
cartoon character on The Simpsons.
Good for him.
I mean, this guy, so good for him. And he says
does.
hoi polloi, which I like.